Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Triangle Strategy Walkthrough. Alright, so the last video there was, man, what was that battle? The battle within the castle? Yeah, against Avlora. So let's load the game up and we will continue on with the story.
Overwhelmed by the forces of House Wolford, Esfrost's troops are scattered and driven from the Crown City. Glenbrook, at last, is free. Several days after this fateful battle, Queen Cordelia announces her intent to abdicate the throne and make way for another. Roland Glenbrook, his face no longer hidden from the world, will take his rightful place at the seat of power. With the prince's friends having only just finished grieving his death, and his enemies having only just finished toasting to it, this news shocks the foundations not only of Glenbrook, but of Nozelia itself. Prince Roland has proven his pedigree by storming the walls of Whiteholm and routing his enemies, delivering his sister to safety in the process. The prince becomes king, and condemns the schemes of Gustadolf, making known Esfrost's plot to usurp the throne. However, the people's reaction to this news is not quite a chorus of approval. It is plain that the ravages of war and the shame of subjugation have left an indelible mark on the once prosperous nation. Although the battle for Glenbrook is behind them, Serenoa and the rest of the city's liberators must make ready for a struggle of an entirely different sort.
Congratulations on returning to your rightful throne, King Roland.
Ah, you've returned. My friend, a word.
Yes.
I am honored to have had you by my side on this journey. To be able to call you friend.
As am I, Roland.
Your Majesty, representatives from Hyzant have arrived.
We shan't make undue demands of your time, King Roland. We've simply come to say farewell.
Without your aid, my people would still be under Esfrost's iron rule. Glenbrook owes you a debt of gratitude.
Consider the debt paid. The knowledge we gleaned of Elfric's capabilities was more than worth our troubles.
Indeed, it surpassed my every expectation. The Holy One is sure to be pleased with the results.
Your Majesty, can we trust you to lift the embargo and keep Esfrost subdued?
Of course. Lord Wolford has promised his full cooperation in that regard.
Your Majesty, lest you misunderstand your friend's position, allow me to make one matter abundantly clear. Minister Serenoa is of the Saintly Seven. He is not to serve at your whims, but by the grace of the Hierophant.
I understand, but he is also a Lord of Glenbrook. More importantly, he is my friend. As such, I would ask for his assistance in the days ahead, as I have in days past.
Your Majesty, it is plain that the friendship between you two runs deep. However, the rules of politics are old and immutable.
And what does the Lord himself think of his new position?
Of course, I am grateful for the honor Hyzant has bestowed upon me. I will do all in my power to serve both the Hierophant and King Roland with all faithfulness.
In other words, the Hierophant does not have your full loyalty.
Well,
Glenbrook and Hyzant are to be two nations united in purpose. Surely it is reasonable that Lord Serenoa acts in service to both? Perhaps King Roland and the Hierophant should discuss my lord's role together.
You are right, of course. It is not our place to assume the goddess's intent.
Very well. I hope to meet with the Holy One as soon as my duties allow. I expect busy days ahead for you, Serenoa. Be prepared.
Certainly, Your Majesty.
Milo shall stay in Glenbrook for the time being. If there is aught she can assist you with, consider her at your complete disposal. Remember, Milo, that you are the symbol of friendship between our two nations.
But of course, I live to serve, Minister.
And with that, we shall take our leave.
May we meet again soon.
They leave us with a spy. It seems we still haven't won their trust entirely.
Whatever secrets they uncover will only attest to our commitment to the friendship between us.
Still, their actions speak volumes. Their aid has not come without expectation of just recompense. Already, they seek to make Lord Serenoa their puppet.
But we need Hyzant's aid to crush Esfrost.
By the same token, we cannot resist Hyzant without Esfrost's might. And once Esfrost is laid low, Glenbrook will have served its purpose. What then would stop Hyzant from tightening their grip?
Just as they did with the Rosal. The injustice I saw at the source is not something I'll soon forget. If you require proof of Hyzant's true nature, you need only remember.
I know. This country is my home. Built by my father and the kings before him. Safeguarded by my sister and generations of my forebears. I will rebuild it. Restore its glory and its pride. We will not be treated as dogs at the end of a leash.
For now, we must look within. Only after that work is done should we look without.
Oh, it's you.
May we speak for a moment?
Of course, brother. My apologies. I'm so happy you're alive. It's just... I believed you dead for so long.
I understand. But hiding from the world was the only way.
You needn't explain. I don't blame you in the least.
Thank you. About General Avlora.
Avlora... She was
a servant of Esfrost. Our enemy.
I know.
Then you know there was no room for mercy. Not if we wanted to win back Glenbrook. Not if I wanted to rescue you from Esfrost's clutches. However, I thought you deserved to know. She did have parting words. She asked me to protect you in her stead. It seems she cared for you, in her own way.
She did. She was harsh, but always kind.
Our scouts are yet searching for her, but her wounds were grave. I fear when we find her, she will... Cordelia, what's wrong?
I'm fine. I simply need to rest.
fine. I think not. I'll call a healer.
No. This whole time, I've refused to show even a moment of weakness. It seems my efforts have taken a toll.
You did well, sister. Now you may relinquish your burdens. I'm here, and I won't leave you again. But please, visit the infirmary. Some bed rest will surely set both of our minds at ease.
Thank you. I'm glad to see your trials haven't stripped you of your kindness. Welcome home, brother.
So, the Crown City has fallen. I see. And what of General Avlora?
She fell into the Norzelia River and has not been seen since.
And my siblings, Thalos and Erica?
They died, fighting bravely in battle. My condolences, Your Grace.
I understand. I have fewer pieces on the board than ever now.
Pieces? Really is true what they say about him?
It seems I was wrong to think that Hyzant would remain idle. Or was my more grievous error to be taken in by the prince's false death? Regardless, I was a fool to show House Wolfwood any mercy.
Your Grace, reports from the battlefield tell of an unknown weapon being brought to bear against our forces.
Oh? Continue.
They say it sank one of our ships in a blast of purple.
Our iron, our pride, torn apart like sheets of parchment before a storm. We mustn't allow Hyzant to think they've won the upper hand. I intend to answer their weapon with one of my own.
After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under Esfrosti rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
So that is what happened in my absence.
Yes. Gustadolf was a clever ruler. After the invasion, Patriot and his royalists cozied up to Esfrost in order to protect themselves. Gustadolf used them to his every advantage. He stripped them of their privileges and left them nothing but their governing responsibilities. I don't think Patriot much cared for that, but it did ensure everything continued smoothly, without interrupting the people's lives.
Now I understand why there was little unrest after the occupation began.
A clean, effective takeover by a well-seasoned commander.
But all the while, he was preparing to face the next conflict.
Wait, does he intend to march on Hyzant next?
I believe so. I wish I could be more specific. But the Goddess's shield cannot protect the Holy State's capital from Esfrost. Not anymore. He said it will all be over once the Death Snell is ready.
What is this Death Snell?
A new weapon born from the coupling of his frosty ironworking and explosive projectiles. Thalos claimed it is powerful enough to break through the Goddess's shield.
To think Esfrost is capable of creating such a monstrosity.
So much for their reign of peace. Taking over Glenbrook was only the first move in a bigger gambit to seize the source. I am disturbed to learn of Gustadolf's plan. But rebuilding our capital must take priority.
Very well. We should investigate the extent of the damage and discuss how best to proceed from there. House Wolfort will lend whatever aid you need.
Thank you, Serenoa. But since you are one of their Saintly Seven now, I'd ask you to keep an eye on Hyzant as well.
Cordelia? Apologies. A brief spell of dizziness.
I have been looking everywhere for you, Your Highness.
Patriat.
I do not recall giving you leave of the infirmary. Your injuries are still healing. Would you undo all the trouble I went through to get you the best of care? Pray, return to the infirmary at once.
It wouldn't do to push yourself, Cordelia. Rest now. Leave everything to me.
All right.
We got a pretty good understanding of the damage in the capital, my lord. It's a tad more than we were expecting.
I see. Then we must make haste with repairs. Let's report this to Hyzant and see what aid they can give us. Was there anything of note besides damage?
There ain't an easy way of putting this, but not everyone's exactly pleased to hear Prince Roland's returned. Esfrost exempted Glenbrook's subjects from the salt tax. Likely a bid to get in everyone's good graces. A damn good one at that. But more than that, the so-called freedom Gustadolf brought to the kingdom seems to have made a splash. He threw out the old ways and made it so anyone could better their lot in life depending on their ability, instead of their birthright.
Just as in Esfrost.
Then the people must have looked quite favorably upon Gustadolf's rule.
I wager folks ain't too pleased to see us, since they figure it means things will go back to how they used to be.
Roland surmised as much. We must do something to show the people his is a return worth celebrating.
Anna, have you looked into the state of affairs in the castle?
Yes. The head of the Royalists, Minister Patriat, is extending his influence. He made quite the name for himself, even under Gustadolf. Though he seems eager enough to support King Roland, he was just as eager to serve the Archduke. I do not believe we can trust him.
Distinguished members of House Wolfort, how hard you are all working to rebuild our capital. What a delightful thing to see.
Minister, you do us a great honor visiting us out of all the many other responsibilities that must vie for your attention.
Oh, come now, do not think yourself so insignificant. The entire kingdom owes you its thanks, myself included, of course. We are so grateful for House Wolfort's aid, even though you now serve a different master.
We are only doing what any of King Roland's loyal vassals would.
Speaking of the king, I'm afraid we've a bit of a problem. His Majesty seems to be entertaining thoughts of retaliating against Esfrost. But the people have had their fill of war, and I'm sure you're already aware the people look upon the royal line with disfavor. I only beg you take every care going forward.
A warning.
Even so, there is naught we can do but focus on rebuilding.
Indeed. Let us return to the king and apprise him of our progress.
I would walk the city with Sheila a bit longer and speak with the people.
As you wish. But this is not the capital you knew. Be careful, my love.
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna do Corrington's character story here, but let's do the Whiteholm Castle main story first. It says Roland takes steps to rebuild the Crown City, but Patriot and the Royalists have other ideas.
The coronation ceremony. Certainly there are more important matters to focus on right now.
A coronation is important to assuage the people's fears and restore their faith, besides which it is the Royalists' most fervent wish. A kingdom is only truly as strong as people believe it to be, and right now the world believes Glenbrook weak. The ceremony will be a display to the contrary.
Is this truly the remedy our situation calls for? Right now, I imagine the people care only for where their next hot meal will come from.
Rest assured, sire, House Wolford will see your subjects shan't go hungry. But trust me when I say nothing will hasten Glenbrook's return to her former glory so much as announcing the return of Regna's rightful heir. To win your subjects' hearts, you need do nothing but ascend to your position upon the throne.
You mean sit my royal backside on a fancy chair?
In a manner of speaking. A king's duty is first and foremost serving as his kingdom's symbol. You needn't trouble yourself with day-to-day governance. We will assume that burden. After all, you have only just been crowned.
There will be no ceremony. The people will tell us what they need, and you will listen to them, Patriot. That is my command.
As you wish, King Roland.
How fare things, Huette? Have the relief supplies been given to those who need it?
Well, we had received a sizable shipment of goods from Hyzant, but there are complaints. It seems very few of those goods have made it into the hands of the people.
And why is that?
We aren't certain, though apparently Patriot and the Royalists involve themselves with the distribution.
Damn those Royalists! They cannot be left to their own devices.
Right, next up here, main story happening in the Crown City. It says Frederica hears the voices of the people as she walks the city streets.
There are more who accepted Esfrost's rule than I imagined.
Glenbrook's history is long. Yet, that is why hierarchy and precedent hold sway. This is a stubborn land, my lady, not given to easy change. Though Archduke Gustadolf, acting in the name of freedom, granted privilege after privilege to the powerful. For people used to Glenbrook's rigid customs, I suppose that sort of change must have been too seductive to resist.
Perhaps, but his freedom was naught but greed and cruelty.
Lady Frederica, I've been searching everywhere for you.
A Wolfort messenger. Did you run all this way? What's happened?
My lady, I hail from Castle Wolfort, bearing tidings of Lord Simo.
Has he awakened?
He has. He is in high spirits and recovering well. And he is most pleased to hear of the capital's recapture. He bids you visit Castle Wolfort so he can honor you himself.
Oh, I must bring these glad tidings to Serenoa at once. How long it has been since I've seen him smile.
There is one more bit of news I have for you, my lady, but it is not so happy.
Is there some sort of trouble in the Wolfort domain?
Bandits are laying waste to the Rosellan village. To our shame, Castle Wolfort does not have enough soldiers to stop this. We would beg Lord Serenoa's wisdom in this matter.
The enemy must be powerful indeed. We cannot leave the Rosellan village defenseless.
Let us inform the others. Messenger, with us.
Well, well. Things are about to get interesting.
Okay, next up, let's do this side story here in the Hierophant's Palace. It says, with Glenbrook reclaimed and Esfrost dealt a heavy blow, Hyzant takes the opportunity to make a strategic move.
House Wolfort and Minister Exham's forces have reclaimed the Crown City. And not only that, they have dealt a heavy blow to the Esfrosti forces in killing Thalas and other commanding officers.
We couldn't have hoped for a better outcome.
Oh, to see Gustadolf's face when he hears the news. Now he'll have no choice but to come crawling to us on hands and knees, begging for salt. Though, this could be our chance to crush the Duchy once and for all.
Just because they're licking their wounds does not make them easy prey. They still have their iron, after all.
Iron? We can get iron. All we need do is make Glenbrook hand over the Grand Norzelian mines to us. A paltry price to pay for our bountiful aid in their restoration of the Crown City.
The Grand Norzelian mines. The spark that lit the flame of Esfrost's aggression. But why go through the trouble to seize an iron source when they have all the iron they could ever need? I should have Milo look into the matter.
Minister Idor?
Well, regardless, we control the salt. I say we bide our time until Esfrost admits they are defeated. Besides, Glenbrook seeks our aid in their reconstruction efforts, do they not?
Yes. King Roland and Minister Serenoa have both asked for help, and sent reports detailing the extent of the damage to the Crown City.
Send forth a veritable bounty. To Minister Serenoa of the Saintly Seven, that is.
Ah, yes. A show of the goddess's grace to the people, and as a wedge to drive between him and the king.
Esfrost, Glenbrook. They will both be ours before long.
Alright, let's do our vote phase. It says the paths before House Wolfort diverge, meaning they will have to go their separate ways for the first time. Which way will Serenoa take?
Thank you all for helping to determine the extent of the damage to the capital. This information will be invaluable as we proceed with reconstruction. There is also happy word from Castle Wolfort. My Lord Father is awake. They say he is recovering apace and is already up and walking.
Those are glad tidings indeed.
He says he would like to see us and hear of all that has passed while he was taken ill.
Then what are we waiting for? I'll saddle the horses.
Would that we could depart at once, but the messenger brought another piece of news.
Bandits plague the outskirts of the Rosellan village.
Jerome and his folk are there. They can handle a few mangy thieves, surely.
Not according to the messenger. The bandits are proving a formidable foe.
Which is why they have asked us for aid.
Apologies for my tardiness. It's sudden, I know, but I must ask you a favor.
What is it?
I suspect Patriot and his royalists of filching relief supplies.
We've no proof it's them, but the fact remains. The people in most need of those goods are not receiving them.
The matter warrants investigating at the very least, and I would ask for Wolfort's assistance.
I see. Well, we were just discussing what we ought to do next. Allow me to explain the 3 courses of action before us. 1. Return to Castle Wolfort as my Lord Father requests. 2. Defend the Rosellan village from bandits. Or 3, remain in the capital to investigate the Royalists.
Lord Simon has recovered. What splendid news. If I could only go to him myself and thank him for all House Wolford has done. But I cannot leave the capital in the throes of a possible scandal. Too many hold the royal family in contempt as it is.
That may be the case, but now that Lord Simon has awoken, someone must make sure he is healthy and apprise him of recent events. I would go to Castle Wolfort, Lord Serenoa, if it pleases you.
My heart breaks for the Rosellen village. Let me go to its defense, even if I must go alone.
I cannot allow that. It's far too dangerous a task for one person.
Well, I would have the Wolfort soldiers with me, of course. Besides, do you recall our first meeting?
Of course I do. You were being assailed by rogues at the port.
If you hadn't been there, who knows what would have become of me. But I am not as weak now as I was then. I am stronger, enough that I shall bring no dishonor to House Wolfort's name. My lord, have faith in me. Let me do this.
Very well.
It seems best that Benedict, Frederica, and I each attend to these pressing matters, separately.
Indeed, but the rest of us cannot be in 3 places at once. We can only choose one path to take. Bring the scales of conviction.
Right. I cannot help but feel restless. We reclaimed the Crown City and have already begun restoration efforts. There should be no question as to what needs to be done here. And yet something has me unsettled. Alright, let's head outside really quickly here and do our conviction choices. We've already done this. Yeah, I guess this will technically be the 4th time on camera. So not going to bother, really talking with anybody. Here is the noble. That, yeah, I think she asks. God, what is it? It's something with the royals. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. And then here's the other. It's a Glenbrook soldier. Again, we're just going with the morality choices for fun. All right, let's head back in. Excuse me. Alright, and we need to go with, so, again, we're playing Golden Route, and that means that we have to take Benedict's route. So let's speak with Huet first. Let me just save as well here. Again, want to make sure that I don't mess this up. Not that it's likely that I mess this up, but let me just see here. Where is Huet? As a member of the King's Guard, I wish to stay here and help unify the Crown City. Nope, we're going to return home. I see, so you wish to return to Wolfort. So my father has just recently regained consciousness. I would let him know of our accomplishments myself, or now that he is king, Roland must resolve matters in the capital himself. Only he can unite his people and restore Glenbrook to its former glory. I'm gonna go with this route.
Good point.
I don't know, it feels like anytime you've got an option of mentioning Roland to Huet, it's the way to go. So Huet says, I see, so you believe he must be the one to bring the royalists to justice and regain the people's trust. Even I can see that dissent among the citizens. But as you said, it may be necessary to leave things entirely in his hands to allow him to establish his position as king. I see now why you would return to the Wolfort domain instead. Right, boom, deep in thought. Next up is Gila.
Ah, yes?
Things are slowly settling down in the capital. Right now would be the perfect time to pay the Rosellen village a visit. The rumors of bandits are clearly troubling her. Perhaps you could help put her mind at ease. Nope, we're going home. You wish to return to Wolfort. Let's just see how my father fares with my own eyes, or if we go to Wolfort, Milo is likely to come with us. We can take a chance to learn more about her. I'm going to go with this option. Do you think Hyzant is scheming something and using her to that end? I'm one of the 7 now. I do not think they mean us any harm, but it would be wise for us to not let our guard down. But of course, we are still unbelievers. Wow. Rough, long morning. But of course, we are still unbelievers. It would serve us well to be vigilant of the Holy State's movements. And having Milo close might shed some light on their intentions.
I require some time to think.
I understand your concerns for your home, my lord. If that were our only issue, the decision would be an easy one, alas. Alright, so Gila's deep in thought. Next up, let's talk to Anna. Where was Anna? Is she back here somewhere? Oh, she's here. Alright.
Lord Serenoa.
Finally managed to rout the Frosty forces from the capital, but it seems our busy days are not over yet. Now we must decide which issue requires our attention most. Wish to return home. Oops. I totally cut her off. My bad. So anyways, my father has finally opened his eyes again. I would see his condition for myself, or now is the time for Roland to show his people what he is capable of. We would be not but a hindrance, or if we go to Wolfort, Milo is likely to follow. It would be best for us to keep our eye on her. I think I'm going to go with that.
Certainly.
After reclaiming the capital, House Wolfort gained more acclaim than even the Holy State had anticipated. There's a chance Milo has been given orders by Hyzant to investigate the Wolfort domain. We mustn't leave her to her own devices. It would be wise to keep a close eye on her. I understand your concerns for her home, and yet... Alright, so Anna's deep in thought. Eredor is last. The Crown City's finally back in Glenbrook's hands, but our work's far from over.
Lad.
Where do you think we should go from here, lad? Home! Should have seen that one coming. So why Wolfort, eh? If both Roland and I investigate, we are bound to draw people's attention, the Royalists included, or my father has just regained consciousness. Don't you wish to see him too, Eredor? I mean, it seems like that would be the best way to go, but apparently it's the top one. Okay. Can't deny that. You two won't be doing any sneaking together, that's for sure. And if you aren't careful, you might make yourselves a few more enemies in the process. It might be best to leave this in King Roland's hands for now. The only question is whether the boy can resolve this on his own or not.
Further.
To be honest, I think going back to Wolfort is what's best for us right now. Alright, boom. Best, deep in thought. Let's end the voting phase. Or begin the voting. No. Do the vote. Conclude.
It is time to cast our votes.
Conclude the democracy manipulation phase.
We have 3 options before us. Return to the Wolfort domain, depart to the Rosellan village, or stay in the capital. Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I stand with you, my lord. You will lead House Wolfort to where it belongs. That's right, back to Wolfort. Alright. So she's voting with us.
You have my vote.
After much deliberation, I have decided to let your convictions lead us. Alright, so that's another vote for us. I mean, we've got this in the bag.
I have faith in you.
It was uncertain, but I trust your judgment, Lord Serenoa.
You won me over.
Got no good reason to disagree with you, lad. You have my vote. Alright, yeah, so that's going to be, what, 5 to 1 to 1?
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
We go back to Wolfort. Visit Daddy. Big Daddy. There it is.
The way forward is decided. We return to the Wolfort domain with Benedict, and inform Father that we have reclaimed the capital.
Alright, again, that is the Golden Route. That is a must for the Golden Route.
I must return to the Wolfort domain, to my father's side.
Lord Simon will be most pleased to see you, I am certain.
Of course. Fulfill your duty to your father. I shall see to things in the capital.
And I shall attend to the Rosellan village. Please give Lord Simo my best.
Oh, Lord Serenoa, you are returning home? What perfect timing. I was thinking of heading to the Wolfort domain myself. Might I accompany you?
Milo, how'd you sneak into the castle?
Oh, let's just say I have my ways. You might find the companionship of such a capable woman a boon on the road.
I know not what her aims are, my lord, but I do know she will be easier to watch by your side.
Indeed. All right, Milo, you may come. But you'll be put to work for the household. Understood?
Of course, my lord.
Then this is farewell for now. King Roland, Frederica, until our reunion in the capital.
Okay, that is going to be it for this one. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.